Hey guys, it's Jason with Paul Davis Restoration. Back today with you guys. I want to give you a little insight into a disturbing job that we were on last week. Basically, this is an individual that had a dishwasher malfunction, had a leak in her kitchen floor. The insurance company sent her a vendor, and she didn't like the vendor, so she went out on her own and she found a different restoration company to come in, and they came in and used some scare tactics, gave her a line of feed about all types of mold and dangerous contaminants, and ripped out her entire kitchen, her living room, her dining room, gave her an extensive mold remediation bill, and in the process brought in a mold assessor, and the mold assessor's report came back with illogical or questionable findings. And basically I want to bring you through this whole event in a somewhat abbreviated fashion. I'm going to share screen with you, and I'm going to bring you through everything that I learned on this particular site. So first thing we're going to go into is the initial company did a spore trap. They did a mold test, and they did the mold test themselves and sent it out to a lab. Those results came back clear. So they came back where indoor microbial growth levels were lower than outdoor. In lieu of that, they proceeded to tear this woman's home apart. The lab results that I'm going to show you right now are post-remediation lab reports. All right. So these tests were given after the initial company completed their mold remediation. And here's the results, and these are spore trap results. So as you can see, every level indoor in the living room area is considerably lower than outside. All right, with the exception of ascospores. So ascospores, there were 2 inside and there were 0 outside. But ascospores do not have the ability to provide mycotoxins. So it's not a readily dangerous type of mold. They do have the ability to give allergic reactions, but it is also the fungus that is in truffles. So mushroom growth, again, do not have the ability to promote toxic mold. If you look at the total spore count in general, you're at 280 inside and your outside is at 1440. So right here, this passed. So, and this is an independent accredited lab that is giving you a passed lab result. Here you can see on the graph, everything is significantly lower inside with the exception of that ascospore. So that is the lab report. Now we're going to go into the actual assessor's report. So the assessor goes into to state that according to that last report, there are elevated mold conditions. Not according to the report, they're not. All right. He's going to go into what samples were taken. So he took 2 air samples. One is a baseline outdoors and one is in the living room. So 2 samples. Here are pictures of the samples, living room and outdoors. Okay. Now, a view of the remediated area in the living room, post-remediation, we see that The floors are encapsulated, the walls are cut, cabinets removed, subflooring's gone, subfloor remains. Did not reveal elevated spore counts. Passed. No excessive moisture. A view of a ceiling that is an unrelated claim, has nothing to do with this loss. And a picture of infrared photography showing that there are no moisture or cold spots showing. Here's an overview of the room. Everything's encapsulated white, framing, subfloor, walls, everything. All right. Now, humidity, temperature is good. Here's the crawl space. All right. So we get to the crawl space, and he states that there's fungal activity was noted affecting the ceilings and could be from a broken window, but it's estimated that the elevated fungal growth in the kitchen is from cross-contamination from the crawl space. Why do we not sample the crawl space? You can't go by visual inspection. You're there to do sampling. All right? Your first instinct is visual. All right? Your sense of sight, your sense of smell alerts you there may be a problem. It's called a red flag. From there, you're going to do airborne sampling or you're going to do viable sampling. They chose to do none, but to say that there is positive mold growth. So I don't know how you do that. Doesn't make any sense. Professional mold remediation recommended? Yes. Source of the mold growth? Basement crawl space. Well, we know we had a water loss right above that. So why are we stating it's the basement crawl space? We also know from, you'll find out later, it took them like 10 days to remediate this place. None of this makes sense. He's got containment, PPE, negative pressure, HEPA vacuum, biocides, final cleaning, containment, and a PRV. So that is his scope of what should be done. All right. Now we're going to go to the bill that the contractor submitted. So here's my biggest problem. So we have a protocol. This is supposed to be a professional. And let's go to the descriptions. Air surface sampling and laboratory analysis. 9 samples. Okay? He's got 5 pre-remediation samples and 4 post-remediation samples. Where are they? Because they're not documented. Okay? We have a negative air fan, so an air scrubber, 5 days. We have another air scrubber, 5 days. We have content manipulation, half hour. So it took a half hour to manipulate the content, but 5 days to do the job. HEPA vacuuming light, 1,600 square feet. All right, you have a mold protocol. You're stating that there's high levels of mold contamination. Why are we vacuuming light? That's a single pass with a HEPA vacuum. It should be a detailed HEPA vac on any mold remediation. And then we have apply antimicrobial agent to the walls. We don't have clean the walls. We don't have to agitate. All we have is apply. And then we go to apply a mold and mildew stain remover to the area. All right, now keep this in mind because the next line item is to seal the surface area with a fungicidal bacterial inhibitor. So we're going to encapsulate. We know from the pictures they encapsulated in white, not in clear, We also know from the pictures that drywall is going to go back up. Why are we putting a stain blocker, a stain remover on? He's doing a peroxide wash. Insurance company's not going to pay for it. It's not necessary. It's not required. It's not a part of the protocol. Okay? And we'll see that throughout this entire job, it's the same scope. Mold and mildew, seal. Mold and mildew, seal. Why? Before we get there, remember the crawl space? Remember the pictures from the crawl space? Well, he's billing to seal the surface area and to clean floor or roof joist system. And we just saw those pictures post-remediation. It was not cleaned, and there was absolutely no encapsulant applied to the framing. But that did enable him to get his price up to $9,743.60. So we know that this is an insurance claim. I know the carrier. I know they have a $10,000 cap on mold coverage. So this particular company systematically wrote their estimate to be just under the mold cap, which does not require the insurance company to do further review because they're under that cap. So he played it well. All right. That's what it comes down to. That's just his mold estimate. His mitigation estimate was like $26,000. So all in, he's in for $36,000 on a job that didn't require probably 80% of the work that he performed. All right. Who gets hurt in this situation? The homeowner gets hurt because she chose to go with a non-vendor. The insurance company is not going to cover any of the mistakes that vendor made, that non-program vendor made. So she's on the hook. You know, I suggest that we go out, we take tape lifts of the crawl space, we take air quality in the kitchen, maybe a couple of swabs. Let's see what the real results are. Either way, she's not getting coverage because the carrier already paid the $10,000 limit for mold coverage on her policy. So in hindsight, what I'm suggesting is vet your contractors, vet your mold assessors, make sure they're certified, make sure they have that certificate with them so you can see that they're certified. Make sure they're going to an accredited lab. Ask questions. Ask why something is being done. Don't just take someone's word for it. And if you're a contractor, stop. Stop milking the system. Right? Stop putting a bad name on this industry. When you do the right things for the right reasons, everybody wins. All right? That's it for this week. Hope you guys got something out of it, and we'll see you soon.